And forensic psychiatrist, body language expert, and columnist of Inside the Criminal Mind in the Front Page Detectives, Dr. Carole Lieberman. And I understand people change through the years, Dr. Carole Lieberman, but this is a different scenario. We're talking about someone accused of plotting and helping in the murder of her own former husband, the father of two of her children, of the twins. Going from this devout Mormon household that she grew up in Utah, marrying a devout Mormon, and then this wild streak. Do you think any of that, of what's going on, could potentially be connected or makes it more likely that she could get involved in a murder plot like this?
Well, she was a woman scorned. And when that marriage was falling apart, then she met this other man. And, perhaps there were drugs involved, or just a lot of, there's a lot that we need to know that happened in the marriage, because their divorce was so contentious, particularly fighting over kids and money. But that's the hardest thing, really, when people get divorced, because they see themselves and their children, and they don't want to let go of that. But, she could have very well just been disillusioned. Here she thought she had this wonderful life and with this wonderful man and now these two children. And all of a sudden it dissolves, and he's just giving her 5 years or 6 years even of contentious divorce. So it could be a rebellion against that, or a disappointment, really, against that.
Yeah, the grandparents are in a tough spot, Dr. Carole Lieberman. But let's get back to Shanna. I mean, she grew up, her parents have money. They had this extremely successful company. Do you think there's any level of entitlement that sort of, because I'm sure her parents did what most parents would do. If you have money, you share it with your kids, you take care of them, whatever they want, you kind of get. You get for them if you can, make their lives better. And better than your life and easier than your life. Do you think any of that could play a role when things get tough and you're in a custody battle and you're not getting your way?
Well, it's been reported that she used the fact that her parents were very wealthy to lure Jared in the first place. So there's some, that has to be interesting. Why did she have to lure him with their money? Like, wasn't she enough? Or did she not feel that she was enough? But, I watched the rest of that interview that you showed a part of, and she deserves an Oscar for it, because she looked like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. She really did seem believable that she was innocent. And then, of course, that interview was done in 2022, between the time that he was killed and the time that she was arrested. And so, she had people fooled. At least, it's going to be interesting to see how much evidence there really is against her. Like, Tenon did tell about the plot and all of that, and he's going to testify against her husband, her current husband. But how much is there? Is it possible that she's going to be able to convince a jury with another Oscar-worthy performance that really she didn't do anything?
And Dr. Carole Lieberman, I expect her to throw him under the bus, because the connection is between the killer and Mario, the much more direct connection as landlord and tenant. They knew each other. Maybe that's where a lot of the communication is. I can clearly foresee that inside the courtroom. Yes.
She must have been filled with so much jealousy and rage. From the years of fighting with the divorce battles and so on. And jealousy, he got married. They were divorced in 2015. He got married in 2017. He got married before she did. And then he had 2 babies with his new wife. So she sees this man going off and having another family with another woman. And, both of those things would have built up her rage and built up her desire to kill him. It doesn't mean, though, it doesn't mean that she really did, or it's going to be, still leaves room for there to be proof needed in between.
Oh, absolutely. You got to prove the case. You absolutely have to prove the case. Everyone's presumed innocent. Even the man who's admitted to it until the conviction is final is presumed innocent. Dr. Carole Lieberman, thank you so much. Appreciate your time tonight.